So when inflation is blank, the Fed aims to slow the economy. And so, when inflation is, we would say that when inflation is high, the Fed aims to slow the economy because what inflation is high, sorry, if we know the Fed is trying to slow the economy, what we know is that there's going to be expansionary gap, right? An expansionary gap is basically where you have, oops, that's awkward. Let's try and erase all this stuff. Basically, we have, or let's just go to the next slide. There we go. We have a, let's try this one more time. Let's say this is long run aggregate supply, and we have short run aggregate demand and short run aggregate supply. So there's a short run aggregate supply, long run aggregate supply, demand, aggregate demand. So this is what we refer to as a expansionary gap, where the short run equilibrium has a quantity that is higher than the optimal quantity, which is in the long run supply. So this is a situation which is where the Fed will want to slow the economy down because the economy is basically growing too fast, right? And so that expansionary gap is tied to high inflation. So we expect that when inflation is high, that's when the Fed is slowing the economy down because of this expansionary gap. So the Federal Reserve, let's take a look at the answer. The Federal Reserve aims to slow down the economy by adopting a contractionary monetary policy when the inflation rate is high. So this is correct. The contractionary monetary policy is used, or contractionary policy is used when we're dealing with an expansionary gap. So the increased aggregate demand leads to an increase in prices, right? And so we can see here that if we would ideally want aggregate demand to be here, then at this price level, that's lower than the current price level, right? So we have P0, or sorry, P star and P1, right? So the price is higher, and that's again what inflation refers to. So when inflation rate becomes aggressive, Fed attempts to decrease the money supply, which is what the monetary policy is oriented to, which reduces spending capacity of consumers and brings aggregate demand down, and that moderates the inflation rate. It decreases the money supply either by increasing interest rates, right, or selling government securities and bonds under open market operations, basically exchanging bonds for money in the public hands, and that takes away money from people. So yeah, this is a good example. I don't think there's anything wrong with this, and so we're going to mark that correct as well.